Gentlemen, we are here today for European Race Night Division 3, and we are here on the streets of Hanoi in this beautiful country of Vietnam, and I am very much looking forward to this. A difficult track, a street circuit nonetheless, one that we've never seen in actual Formula 1, but it's on this game. It was meant to be on the calendar, but unfortunately we never got to saw it in action, and won't be on the next game in fact, but a difficult circuit nonetheless. Low traction zones, very next to no grip on this circuit, which is going to play difficult for some drivers, as we saw in Division 2. But enough about the track, the drivers are getting ready to go. I'm Dame Zero, your lead commentator, and alongside me for the first time ever with myself, Mr. Presto Evans. How are you doing today?
I'm not bad. I'm not too bad. So that's a great introduction.
Thank you very much, good sir. As we just have a quick look out there now, Eke Blover will be the first man on track along with the other Haas of Apex. Them two will be the first people out on track. The two Haas's getting out there nice and early. The Red Bull behind them of Owen Howell. So it's difficult to see who could probably get pole here today due to, I mean, we saw yesterday in Division 2 a lot of people spinning out due to no grip. Division 1, I imagine you had maybe a couple of issues with no grip. What's the tactic here for qualifying, Presto?
I think a lot of drivers will try and at least get through on a set of softs. That's basically the strategy. I think it's soft hard usually the right way to around here. And in the safety car, I was able to go medium softs, which I think if you're outside the top 10, it's a good strat to try, because the softs were just so much quicker at the end of the race. We saw that. When I went on the softs, I think I was gaining about 2+ seconds to it was Wilson at the end, I think. So it'll be interesting to see what strategies that people do here today, and with maybe wind damage that might come into play. I know the safety car can spice up a lot of strategies, so I think we're in for a very interesting night.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, we talk about safety cars as you mentioned there, and we didn't see any safety cars yesterday in Division 2, even though there were some cars broken in some places, in some very sketchy places where you would expect a safety car on a street circuit, but nothing came to effect. But we'll see what happens here today in Division 3, as we now have Eke Belova, our first man on the track, to set a lap, and let's see how he deals with this lap as he goes a little bit deep there into turn 1, touches the curb, unsettling the car, and really hard to put your foot down around these roundabouts until that moment, because the grip is basically none round there. It's same in this corner, very close to the wall, trying to swing it away from that wall. That's going to cost him a little bit of time there from Eke Belova, which is a big shame, but just trying to get that banker in before he can really push as he goes into the second roundabout, into third, into second, touches the curb, nearly spins the car, but manages to catch it. The understeer through here is crazy, and it was really biting Eke Belova there onto the back straight. This big long section of track now where DRS is activated halfway down, activating it now. Let's see what is the speed that he hits before braking. The top speed that he gets is at 206, 207, and then brakes hard onto the brakes down into first gear for the hairpin. Doesn't touch the curb on the exit, which is crucial for this lap, considering it can really unsettle the car and throw you towards the barrier. Now into the tricky section of Sector 3, where you have these S's as he gets onto the curb there. Doesn't unsettle the car as much as he wanted, or would have needed, should I say, as he gets a bit wiggly through the S's, takes that curb nicely against the wall, but a little bit sketchy going through it also. Takes a little bit of this curb that can unsettle the car too. Into the second to last corner, down into second, touches the curb nicely. Now it's the exit that he needs, up into fourth, gets the traction zone. Into fourth for the final corner, comes across the line. Our first time for Division 3 is the 35-2. What can his teammate do of Apex? He invalidated that run, so he won't be setting a lap.
Yeah, not too bad though. At least he's got a banker in. Just getting a banker in straight away is really the key around here. I just see how we'll put a 35-1, so he's again just slightly improved on it, but and that way to a 31st inning. So I think a lot of times we'll be coming down here. There was a bit of that front wing though. Came off just at the start finish there. I don't know who that was. Yeah, that was the Red Bull. That was
the Red Bull touching the wall on the final corner. Minaj goes 34-2. Fintu Racing does a 34-9 there. So times are coming in. Matriz with a 35-5, and that's Massey with a 34-3 in the Ferrari. Next car across the line was, I believe, Chelsea with a 35-3. Next car is all the way down in the S's, and that's on an outlap. So who is the next person? It looks like a Williams, and it is a Williams, and I think that is crowding on an outlap down there too.
Yeah, he got.
So the next car.
Sorry, he got wing damage in his first lap, but I think going down the straight, it must have been looking somewhere, and he got front wing damage in the front left on an outlap. So this is his first time lap is going to come in now. So.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So that, who was that? Crowding?
Yes, it was.
So that's not a good start for him, especially on the outlap, and he's actually going for a lap right now. So interested to see. Has he got damage now, or did he come back in and go back out?
He came back into the pits and then went back out. So I think this will probably still be his first set of tyres. He only done one outlap, so I don't really think there'll be much wear on these tyres, but I would assume he's put on those tyres just to try and get at least a run in, because I think he should be okay. As long if he invalidates this one, he can come in and then put like 2 more sessions also, so he should be okay. But it's kind of put him on the back foot a wee bit.
Okay, Apex went for another lap and set a 35 dead. There's Breezy with a 33.8, so the quickest time so far and the first time in the 33 set by the Red Bull. There goes Wedgie with a 33.7. The Williams then beating that by a 1/10 of a second. Next car coming across the line, by the looks of it, that is Massey, and he'll be on his in-lap currently. Just looking down there, the Alpha Tauri, I think that is of Hayes. It is Hayes. She's now down in sector 3. Let's see how she deals with these S's. Let's have a look on board. Let's see how the car deals with it. Does it unsettle? She brakes quite a lot for there, down into 5th. And then into 5th again for this tricky section, lifting off quite a lot. Maybe just not getting the rotation she needs there in that last portion of the sector. And then into 2nd, up into 3rd, into 4th for the final corner. Down into 4th again, don't touch the wall on the outside. She's got that well, and she goes for the 34.6 and into 5th place. That was the Williams boys of Crowding. Crowding now a top contender in this division. Let's see where he's going to put it. Can it be a Williams 1-2? It is a Williams 1-2, a 33.5 currently, and that is a perfect start for the Williams boys, and he's there 2 tenths quicker than his teammate. A great lap there from Crowding. Having a quick look on board, the Alpha Tauri of Taui. He's currently in 17th, not set a time yet, of course, and he's storming towards the DRS zone. And let's see what he is able to do here on his first run out. We're seeing a lot of good times here, a couple of times in the 33s, some people still in the 34s, but it'll be interesting to see once the track gets quicker what they are able to set as Taui goes to the hairpin, nearly touching the curb, just unsettling the car slightly on the exit, but not as much as he would need to do. Now into sector 3, down into 2nd, and up into 3rd, 4th and 5th. And now getting the acceleration full flat through here until you get to this corner, down into 6th and into 5th. And does he go into 4th for this, or stays in 5th? He stays in 5th for that one too, as he now heads towards the 2nd to last corner. The Alpha Tauri of his teammate Hayes did a 34.6. What is he going to do to compete with that? Here comes Taui into, he touches the wall on both sides, loses end plates. He's going to come across the line with a 35.3, but if he didn't do that, I think he would have been with his teammate. I see. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I seem to have lost my commentator, or my co-commentator, and I didn't realise. Right, after losing my commentator, I've now invited him back. Apparently, I didn't even realise he was gone. So, that's always a good start as we have onto the podium in Sector 3. Presto, can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear him. This is not going well as onto the podium backs out of that attempt. Are you back with me? What you need to do is click the include audio a couple of times, like in and out, in and out, in and out, and then that is the main fix for it. We'd have to just keep doing it if it ever gets mentioned. So please let us know, guys, in chat if his voice is a bit robotic. Thank you very much. Let's just have a quick look. Who is currently on a lap? Darko Wade currently out there on a lap. Owen Howell on a lap down the back straight. Eke below, but where is he? He's in sector 3, so we'll see and stay on board with him. He's in the second to last corner, about to come through the final corner. Now there's an Alfa Romeo behind him. Here comes Beloba. Can he improve? Beloba does improve. Goes 6th with a 34.5. Let's just have a quick look. There's a racing point, and I think that is of Nash on a flying lap. It is. He's in the second to last corner into third. He's got the engine glitch, which is something that we always love to hear here on commentary. Nash puts it 6th with a 34.4, so another good lap time there. There is a Mercedes coming through the field currently, and that will be of Minaj. Minaj is just starting his flying lap, currently on a 34.2, so we'll see how much that improves. Owen Howell does a 34.3 in the Red Bull, so another good lap there. Improvements are starting to come now, thick and fast. Yeah, definitely. So Matriz goes 11th with a 34.9. Darko Wade, his teammate, aborts his lap, comes into the pits. Next up is Senna in the Ferrari. He hasn't set the time yet. What's he going to set here? He goes 14th with a 35.1. His teammate of Massey is in sector 3, and he's backed out of his attempt and has wing damage. So the current Division 3 champion is not having a good qualifying session here today. Here comes Finn 2. He's in 12th, 34.9. What's he going to do? He goes 8th with a 34.4, improves by 0.5 of a second. Another Mercedes of Minaj. I think you've been watching this lap, Presto.
It has been a good lap. It's been clean. It's been clean. As he comes across the line.
So far.
It is a 33.9. Does improve, puts himself P4, so gets under the 34s there. So not a bad lap from him. That maybe a wee bit of time to find if he's just a wee bit less cautious in the first sector, I'd say.
Question, Presto. Is your audio going to be good?
It is, yes.
Right, apparently people cannot hear you.
No problem. Hopefully it is now.
Hopefully so. We should hopefully double check that one. Breeze, as you say, Minaj improves, goes to 33.4, but not enough to shake up the tables further overhead. We've got people on laps further at the back. Harvey is on a lap, so we are now. Yeah, we've got confirmation that we can hear you and you're not robotic anymore. Which
there
is
you
fantastic.
go. You can hear me. We can get the subtitles up now. That's what we want. Get proper Scottish subtitles up.
Yeah. Get the Iron Brew out. Everybody has to have an Iron Brew while you're watching this. That's a definite.
Iron Brew shortbread. That's what you need. Whoa, what's that Alpha Toy, what's he doing there? Sorry, he seems to go into the pits and then decide he's backing out.
I have bigger questions. Iron Brew shortbread, did you just say?
Iron Brew and shortbread. Mix it together.
I thought it was a combination too. Like, who came up with that idea? It was very confused.
So Toy on a lap at the moment. I think he's the only one literally on a lap. He kind of decided to go on his lap there. It was a weird start to his lap, but it's like he went into the pits and then thought, no, I'll go again. And then he was a bit cautious, but let's see what his sector 1 split is. It'll be a 25.4, so he's matched his first sector.
Chelsea was on a lap too. She went really deep in sector 3. Harvey just behind in the racing point, who's just invalidated that attempt and darts into the pits onto the podium, who was ahead there in the Renault, not set a time yet. He comes across the line. He goes 15th with a 35.1. So two people who didn't have too good of a lap there. As you say, Towie on a lap currently, and he's the only man out there on a lap now. Everybody else just getting ready for their last laps. And it'll be interesting to see if crowding can improve on that lap. A 33.5 is certainly going to be a hard feat to beat.
It's a really good banker as well. He's putting Towie is 1.5 tenths up as well on his lap. So if he gets a good final sector, he might get into the 34s here. But it's a very challenging sector. This, you've got to be literally on the limit. You've got to kind of have a flow going through here. You turn in slightly early, you have to maybe take a stab, an extra turn in, and you can lose all the time you've gained. But it seems to have been a nice rhythm he's got through here, not too bad. Down second. Is he going to short shift up to 4th? No, he gets a good run as well. Nice run through the final corner. This will be a good improvement, I'd say. 34.1. Great lap.
Very good improvement.
Just
big improvement there. 1.1 seconds quicker than his last time. 34.1, putting him straight into P5. A great lap there.
Yeah, his final sector he made a lot. His final sector the last time was a 29 flat, and that one was a 28.1. So to be fair, his sector times weren't too bad in the first and second. It was just that last sector in his first lap he really made it's maybe an issue with it. But yeah, he has got a lap in now, and with only 2 minutes on the board, that will be his only lap that he can put in. So he's pushing it a wee bit more on the way back. Maybe I know he's maybe a wee bit more experienced. He'd maybe go a wee bit slower on the unlap. He should know now that he's not going to get back into another lap. So just save these tyres. Looking at the pace, it looks like he will be inside the top 10, so he doesn't want to put as much as what any more worth to these tyres than he is at the moment. So
yeah, Darko Wade currently coming around the final corner now. He's on 34.7. Does he improve on his time and put himself into the top 10? Yes, he does. He goes 8th with a 34.3. Now, guys are all starting to on their outlaps and start setting their final runs. Massey is another one of those. He's a 10th up on his time. The current Division 3 champion in 7th in the Ferrari with a 34.3 as he heads through the final sector. Maybe going a little bit wide there in sector 3. That could have cost him a wee bit of time. But let's see how he does here. Into the second to last corner, down into second. And now we'll accelerate into third, fourth and fifth. And takes fifth on the final corner. DRS enabled, heads towards the line. He puts it fifth with a 34 dead. Wasn't able to get into the 33, so a big shame there for him as Matriz and Apex are both on laps currently. Where's Crowding? Crowding is currently in sector 3, goes wide and invalidates. That could be big for pole position. The person who's on provisional pole can't improve on his time, and that is a big, big shame for him.
just looking at Scarra Minaj, he's still in the garage, so he's not going to be setting another lap. The only one to really watch out for is Breezy and Wedgie, is that how you pronounce his name? So Breezy will be the first cross line, but he read really wide coming out the final corner to start his lap, and he's backed off already. So he's not going to improve. So Wedgie might be the only one who can improve on pole position. Looks like it probably will be a 1-2 for Williams at the moment, unless someone can really pull a lap out the bag. Maybe keep an eye on podium. He might not be right up there, but I think he can probably pull in maybe even a top 10 performance as long as he can get a lap in.
Yeah, Apex at the minute is absolutely flying in the Haas with trees. Ooh, nearly putting it into the barrier, into the second to last corner, into the final corner. Now, let's see where he's going to go. Does he improve? No, 2 attempts down. Apex in the final corner now, into 5th, and gets the exit, doesn't touch the barrier, which is good. Apex puts it into 11th, just misses out on the top 10 by less than a 10th of a second, and puts it into 11th place. Where are other people? Hayes is currently just starting a lap now. Got other people on out laps of Senna onto the podium, and Harvey just coming around the final corner now. Wedgie's just started his also, so we've got a few people still yet to come for this one.
I'll keep an eye out on Wedgie and I'll let you know what his set to times in that are, so.
Yeah, we'll see. I think Fintu Racing has also backed out of his attempt on this track by the looks of it. I'm not 100% sure. He looks like he's got all of his ERS, so he's backed out of his run in 10th place, so he won't be improving either. Eke Belova, he's just started his flag lap. Hayes is just coming on to the back straight. Senna's just going into the second roundabout, and Harvey's in the second roundabout. So I think the person that I am actually going to stay on board with is going to be Wedgie. Can he challenge his teammate here for pole position? It's currently a Williams 1-2, a 33.5 set by Crowden, and Wedgie with a 33.7 as he storms towards the hairpin here in sector 2. Cars need to start getting out of the way.
He's not going.
Is there? Ooh,
he was a 10th up.
Really bad.
He was just under a 10th up in the first sector, so will he?
He was a 10th up.
Oh, he's lost
got
time.
Down a little bit. He has lost a little bit of time there, but let's see how he deals with sector 3. Can he challenge this? This sector has to be perfect now. In 6, stays in 6 here. This is absolutely on the limit. He needs everything from this sector. Gets wide there and gets it nicely over the curb into the second to last corner. Anything to challenge his teammate. The William boys are going to go for it here with the 1-2. Breezy in 3rd. Where's he going to go? Does he beat him? No, he doesn't. He doesn't beat him by less than 0.08 of a second. Separate the two Williams boys, and it looks like it is definitely going to be a Williams 1-2, and Crowden puts on pole position. Ekibel over the last man to come across the line, damages his wing, improves, goes 12 with a 34.4, and that is Crowding and Wedgie, the Williams 1-2 on the front row of the grid.
Good luck from Harvey at the end there. He got himself up into P10 as well, so he got just inside. He beat his teammate by, what was that, 0.02 of a second as well. So that's probably one of the worst positions you want to be in as well, starting 10th place in a track like this. If you want to be on mediums, people from 11th downwards can do the alternate strategy. Medium soft, an early safety car, tracks like Vietnam, I do assume there will be a safety car quite early on. If there is, the medium runners can stay out. Soft runners you'd expect to come in quite early, put a set of mediums on again. So I think if there's an early safety car, it can really spice up the way this race is going to go.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, an incredible qualifying there from Crowding, really putting that on his only run that he did. And he put it on pole position with 33.5. It goes in the top 3 with Reggie and Breezy sat behind him. Outside of the top 3 is as follows: Minaj, Hayes, Massey, Owen Howell, Towie, Darko Wade and Harvey in the top 10. Outside of the top 10 is as follows: Nash, Eke Belova, Fintu Racing, Apex, Chelsea, Senna, Matriz onto the podium at the back of the grid. But only 1.5 seconds separate the entire field here. And I mean, it's a very difficult track for some drivers. Some drivers, as you say, were cautious during their qualifying sessions because, you know, it's one of those wing damage around here can just cost so much time. And coming back into the pits, you've got to be so careful with how much grip that actually is on this track.
Yeah, I just looked to the sector times that the Williams boys were literally matching sectors through it. Half a tenth up Wedgie was in the first sector. The last sector, it was kind of the same. It was the middle sector where Wedge on his own lap lost half a tenth on his personal best, and Crowden was about 2 tenths up the road as well, just in that sector. So I think that that Alfa Romeo, I think it was Finn, would have really put him off just in the braking zone, because you'll know yourself if you're going into a corner, you have 100% focus of where you're going to brake, and if there's a car in front of you and you think, oh, he's not going to get out of the way, or you brake where you think you'll brake because he doesn't move out of the way, then you go into the back of him. But if he moves out of the way at the last minute, there's nothing you can do because you're already committed to your braking zone. So I think that's probably cost him pole. But again, he's still in P2, so I don't think he'll be too disheartened by that.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to go racing at 2 minutes past 8 is when we're going to start the formation lap for this race. Now, from what you've seen so far, Preston, I'm going to give you the honours of going first. What are your predictions for this race? As we know, the track layout, how tight this track is going to be. There's going to be many overtakes down the back straight. Very little traction zones. Could see a lot of cars spinning out, maybe some contact in the tight corners. Who is your predictions for the top 3?
I'd probably say maybe Crowden, Wedgie will be up there in terms of actual pace. I think, I don't know actually who's going to round up. I think it's going to be a bit of a surprise for some people, because I think when I was in Div 1, a lot of people were retiring really early on in the race because they had wing damage, which I really don't like people doing, because if a safety car comes out with like 3 laps to go, and if you keep it clean and you've got no penalties, and someone in front of you's got like maybe 5-6 cars have it, all you need to do in those last 3 laps is just keep it clean. It can go from being a minute behind to being literally maybe a chance of you getting like good points. So I think there's going to be a good chance of maybe some drivers at the back just keeping it clean, doing the right strategy, and I think maybe someone, maybe like Apex or anything, maybe podium. He doesn't seem to have like his out and out 1 lap pace, but I do think he can get up there and maybe finish in the top 10, get some good points, as long as he just keeps his nose clean. I mean, he can't go any further back where he is, so I'd say probably top 3 Crowden, maybe Minaj, maybe Owen Howell. He might actually get some good points. He might get into the podium as well. I really don't know, to be fair, for the first time in Div 3, but you know what? I think we could be in for some surprises.
Yeah, definitely so. I think, Crowding is still chasing that elusive first win here in European Race Night. He had the pace last season in Division 3, especially near the end of the season, just couldn't get to grips and couldn't get that last win. And it's been the same this season. He's had the pace. He's took a lot. I think he's took nearly... Alexa, shut up. Alexa, shut up. Sorry, apologies. I always forget to unplug my Alexa every single stream, and then all you hear is me panic. But Crowden still is chasing that elusive win. He does have an opportunity to do it here. If he keeps it clean and the pace that he had over the 1 lap, and especially only setting the 1 lap in this qualifying session that he had, he could take this win if he transforms that into the race. So I think I'm going to go Crowding. He needs to get this win. If he doesn't get this win, it's just going to demolish. There's so much pressure on him for this win right now, because he needs to get this win to challenge for the title and stay with the championship runners at the minute. I think second, I think Massey will have a stormer of a race. He's a very clean competitor. I think he could definitely. I mean, I've raced with him last season in Division 3. I certainly think he can get P2. And third, I think I'm going to go for Owen Howell.
Good predictions there. Definitely good predictions. So
However, I'm just going to quickly look at the race director and look outside the top 10. So let's see how many people. So 5 people went on mediums. Those mediums are onto the podium: Matrice, Senna, Apex, and Fin 2. 2 people went for the sauce of Eke Blover and Chelsea, and 1 person went for the hards of Nash in 11th. So interesting predictions there of tyre choices outside of the top 10.
yeah, quite a few people spotting it. I can see why people are starting on softs, maybe just trying to get a good start, and then just go with what the top runners are going to do, just kind of mirror them. I do feel though that the medium soft is just going to be so much quicker because you can't really do soft medium just because of how like the car's a lot heavier at the start of the race, and when you put the mediums on, there's a good chance that if you can get to the end. But I saw Rhombus do that in Tier 1, and he really struggled at the end of the race pace wise. The hard runners were a lot quicker than him, so I think it's going to be quite interesting. Nash starting on hards, I think that's a really weird one, because if he has an early safety car, then he has to go on to a set of mediums or softs anyway. So maybe just starting the mediums, but he might have a strategy in mind. So that's it's not up to me to tell you what to do. I'm just here to advise you.
Yeah. Just told Division 3, let's go racing. So let's get going for this formation lap. I mean, we talked about how much this track can really bite yesterday in Division 2 when I was on with Massey. And there's no grip basically in any corner, any part of this track. Every traction zone is very, very tough to do round here. Now, with that coming into account, we've got the main tyre strategy of a 2-stop. Like I said, the 1-stop is possible. I mean, we could definitely see some certain tyre strategy. Safety cars could come into effect here for Division 3, that is for certain. I mean, it's just so hard to predict where people are going to come, what kind of races there is. If you keep it clean, no wing damage, it's certainly going to be a good result for you no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. If you get wing damage early on, as long as you're a safety car, you can still bring it back. You saw that in Division 1. A lot of people did get wing damage at the start. I didn't get wing damage, but I was still right at the back, so it was kind of the same as me having wing damage, if you know what I mean. But just changing the strategy, just going with it and not really fighting your way up the field too much, not going for any stupid moves. Because I can see a lot of people using the ERS quite a lot. Because it's Division 3. Again, no offense to any of these drivers, but some people might be a wee bit more have a bit more knowledge on the ERS, when to use it. So if you can save your ERS, not really work the tyres too much, and not get damage, you're going to be in a really good situation later on into the Grand Prix, as we see Ekebola has now been disqualified from this formation lap. So that's an interesting start.
Yeah, cold tyres for the Haas boy, and especially on mediums, that's really going to bite as Crowden leads this formation lap. Everybody getting the tyres nice and warmed up. You want as much grip as you want round here, so you want them at peak heat on the start of the race. You've got Wedge behind his teammate on the Williams 1-2 here today. Breezy behind him in the Red Bull, my former car in Division 3, and it's good to see a Red Bull car still in the top 3. Minaj in 4th and Hayes in 5th, and then Massey, the title rival I had last season, came out on top down there in 6th. Well, I'm happy he's a bit further down there this season. It's good. It's kind of good to see. It makes me glad to see the current champion suffer after he stole it from me. But no, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Just keep an eye out on Darko Wade. He did disconnect. I have sent him an invite back, but his car was playing ball to him there. He started 9th going into the hairpin. It decided just to let everyone go. So his car's given him the best opportunity to get back in time. I have given him an invite, so hopefully he is back just before the start. But hopefully he's not going to have extremely cold tyres, because we do know what the glitch is like. But it is quite slow, so as long as he can get in. But I have given him an invite, so hopefully he's in. If he doesn't get in for the start of the race, I'll send him another one. But there's nothing worse getting a disconnect literally right before the start of a race as well.
Yeah, definitely so. Hopefully he's good. But one person who certainly will be starting on cold tyres is Eke Blover, as we see his car on the grid there as Crowding and Wedgie start to line us up on the front row, followed by Breezy and Menard sat behind him. Hayes and Massey on the third row. On the fourth row, Owen Howell and Towie as the last car onto the podium lines us up further back. As we get ready to go racing, we are going to have the lighting glitch. We'll keep an eye on the revs with the drivers of when that lighting glitch and when they're going to get going. By the looks of it, starting to rev up now, so we're going to see what's going to happen here for European Race Night Division 3, and we are getting ready to go racing, and it is lights out and away we go. Crowden seems to get a really good start there on his teammate Wedgie. Wedgie's on the inside. Menard is looking to try and challenge Wedgie into turn 1 as Breezy tries to go around the outside. Massey's caught up on the inside of the apex as they go through turn 2. Massey making moves up into 6, staying 6 should I say, sorry, as Hayes has made a place on her. As we look further back of Darko Wade, who's getting overtaken from his AI car, so that's a big shame for him, losing place on the start. Menard now looking to challenge Crowden as Crowden lost the lead of the race in turn 2 or 3 by the looks of it, and Menard looking to make the move but doesn't go to make a move as Massey looks to try and challenge Owen Howell as much as he possibly can as I saw wing damage further back, and I'm not too sure who that was. It looks like Nash was involved with that of the racing point, and there was certainly wing damage, and he has lost the front left end plate as they all storm down the back straight. We've got Towie here with Harvey all in his slipstream train behind Owen Howell. Owen Howell defends Harvey, and there's not going to be enough room there for Towie. Harvey and Owen Howell, they're going to go side by side into turn 1. Let's into the hairpin, should I say, sorry. Here comes Harvey down the inside. Owen Howell on the outside gets that curb. Harvey gets all out of trouble and had so little grip back there, but still is trying to challenge Harvey as much as he possibly can, and Howell goes down the inside line and stays ahead of Harvey. Good racing there from both of them.
Harvey got wing damage just going into the what do you call it, the roundabout, or whatever you want to call it, the hairpin. A few cars braked quite early, and then Harvey went into the back of, I can't remember who it was, but he's got front wing damage, and so did Nash, so it was kind of a pile-up, so both racing points on the start have to go into an early pit stop. So it's going to make it even harder for Nash as he comes into the pits, and he will be held. So a nightmare start for the racing point, but Harvey got a great start. I think he was up to about 8th from, I think he was 10th on the grid as well, so he did jump 2 people at the start, but we've got a few other people in as well, so, and both Hassies as well. So they're going to have to double stack as well, so it's a nightmare start for them both.
Yeah, a big shame for them, especially Nash, who they chose for the hard compound tyre, and that strategy's already been blown out of the water. But here comes Breezy in the Red Bull on Menard. They're going into the second roundabout, and he gets that move done nice and early and moves himself up into 3rd place, which is good to see as Darko Wade and Senna, these two are side by side heading into the same corner, and Darko Wade gets ahead and moves into 10th place. Some good overtakes we are seeing so far, but as you mentioned, damage already being caused as Retrieve and Senna are side by side in the roundabout section, and now on the exit. But I'm just going to quickly look up ahead as Menard and Breezy. Menard in the slipstream here on Breezy, and he's going to look down the inside. Now goes for the outside line. Breezy covering it off as much as he can, defending well, and stays in 3rd place for now. But Retrieve is trying to hunt down Senna, and he's not going to get an opportunity there in the hairpin.
He might get it on exit though. Senna went in really deep and he's over the curb. As long as he gets his traction out, he should be able to fight him into the next corner, but I think Senna's just ahead. You got yellow flag in sector 2. Is that for anyone in particular? I don't think so. I think that was just
oh, he's done the switchback. He's done the switchback, Matrice, into sector 3, and that was a beautiful, beautiful move there by Matrice. Calm, calculated, and stuck it up the inside as Senna went deep, and Senna loses that position absolutely magnificently to Matrice.
Just got to make that count now, since he's on the softer compound, so they should start going off for the next couple of laps. So he needs to try and at least pull away in the slightest, or even catch up to his teammate just to get into DRS, because you can gain so much down that back straight if you're not in DRS.
Yeah, looking further ahead, Wedgie's now got a 1.6 second lead over Crowding, as that's just come down to 1.4. So Crowding may be trying to close that back up here with Breezy and Menard behind, but I'm just looking on board here with Owen Howell, who's really using a lot of ERS here to try and close the gap on Massey. Is onto the podium, has made a move there on Chelsea. So got that move done. Maybe Chelsea's just going a bit deep and taking advantage of that. But we've got this little DRS train now behind Menard and behind Breezy. In fact, Crowding is also involved in this. So a little bit of a train forming in the top 8.
Just keep an eye on Wedgie. He's got the gap, but he's also got 82% ERS, where Crowding's only got 46. So Wedgie's got out and out pace at the moment. It hasn't had to use any of his battery to try and pull away. So if he can just keep that gap where it is and just keep Crowding using his ERS, it can mean so much later on.
of Fin2 Racing. He gets onto the curb. The car isn't unsettled, which is good to see. He uses his overtake on the exit. He's still trying to challenge Fin2 Racing, but Fin2 looks like he's staying ahead, and that was very, very close from the two boys there, from nearly going into the barrier, but luckily enough, no damage caused and clean racing from both of them.
Got a yellow flag. It is
and that's
Chelsea.
Senna.
No, it's Senna. I apologise. Oh,
as he takes his front wing off, as he tried to spin round the car, and I'm not going to be surprised if that was a VSC, but the game's not giving it us. Doesn't seem to give us anything in Sector 3 as we saw yesterday. With one of the cars, I can't remember who it was, crashed out in Sector 3. Is Chelsea and Apex. These two are side by side at the back of the grid. Chelsea trying to go around the outside, gets forced wide, and has to concede that place and let go of that place as the two with Darko Wade and Fin2 were side by side there in the first roundabout, really putting Fin2 under pressure. Is Darko Wade in the McLaren up ahead. We've got Massey and Hayes, and the gap's really starting to drag out now with 1 second gaps as Towie and Owen Howell. And Towie makes that move. Darko Wade gets the move now on Fin2 Racing also.
We have Proven Light asking in the chat, does Chelsea have wing damage? No, she doesn't. She just, well, not from me can see anyway. It might be lime green damage for her, but no visual damage for us on screen at the moment.
Yeah, but Senna comes into the pits to replace that broken front wing. And here comes Massey. He's closing in on Hayes, but doesn't look like he's going to get anywhere near enough to make an overtaking manoeuvre. Looking further back, Owen Howell is another one that could have made a move there, but didn't make that move, and just gaps beginning to form further up the field, Presto. But it's interesting to see what will happen with the pit strategy. So I just watched Wedgie go very, very wide in Sector 3 there, which could help Crowding catch up there a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the sector times between Crowding and Wedge, and they're basically identical. First sector they're matched, and second sector they're matched. And this third sector might be slightly different, but their pace seems exactly the same. So for Williams, will Wedgie be coming in early? Will Crowding not play the team game? Will he try and go for an undercut? Will he obey team orders? We don't know. We just have to wait and see. But Crowding was slightly quicker that lap, I think. I'll quickly just look at the timings as, yeah, he was just about 10th and a half quicker. That last sector he gained a 10th and a half on Wedgie, so maybe now he's just trying to get back into the DRS. But Wedgie with 100% ERS, he's not been using that at all. So Wedgie is able to defend whatever Crowding throws at him at the moment, just looking at his ERS. But keep an eye out on Massey though. He's in the DRS of Hayes, and Hayes hasn't got it on Minaj, so just keep an eye out with these battles. But ERS from most of these drivers in this pack it's not low, but it's not great either. They are starting to save a wee bit now, so do you have time to start speaking at the moment either, man?
Apologies, that is my bad.
No problem.
I was just looking at something here. So as some drivers in European Race Night will use is something called Sim Dashboard that you can get on your phone and obviously use, as I'm just looking at Massey trying to close in on Hayes. But I can use it here to look at how much tyre wear people have on each driver, how much their temperatures and their tyres are. So Massey's rear right now is at 90 degrees, but his front left is at 78 degrees. So really low on his front right, on his front left.
That's fair. Is that true? Is that right? That doesn't say
That's what I can see here. As it's in fact, no, it's now shot up to 87. So it might be a little bit lying, but I'll tell you one person who is really suffering right now, and that is Minaj. Minaj's front left. It's 105 degrees, so very hot front left there for Minaj.
I can see that. One thing I like to do is when I'm on stream is I like to go to, it's not beneficial for the actual stream, but if you go to, where is it? It's camera settings, where is it? There's a thing that I always used to do. Can you still do it on this game? Maybe not actually on screen. No, let me try and find it, I'll come back to you. What I always used to do is I used to go on to the camera settings and go into cockpit, and what you can see is you can see the tyres, their exact temperatures. I don't think you can do it this game. This was the last time I actually commentated, but I'll get back to you if I can find it, and I will let you know it.
Yeah, not a problem, not a problem. We'll just have a look on board with Darko Wade, the closest man in the pack so far. A lot of gaps beginning to form, but they're only like about 1 second gaps between most of them in the top 10, as Darko Wade tries to put pressure here on Owen Howell just ahead. And let's see if he's going to be able to get this move done. Towie and Massey, these two are battling also. Towie gaining on Massey as much as he possibly can. Not much ERS between both of them. Even Hayes has got 30% just up ahead, staying ahead. But Darko Wade is looking to make this move now on the outside of Owen Howell. Oh, bit of a pinch there to the wall. He goes for a switchback. Let's see if this switchback's going to be useful here as he tries to get the power down now. Doesn't have overtake enabled. He's in the slipstream though. He's going to look to go down the inside and backs out with that move and doesn't take that opportunity there for him.
Yeah, it was he got squeezed slightly to the wall, but you know what, I'd have done the same thing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say it was bad, but yes, it was he done the right thing by defending there. He didn't give him the inside, and he's held the gap. We've got someone in the pits already. Got Towie in lap 7. Oh, yeah, just the start of lap 7. So let's see what tires he goes on. If he goes on to a set of hards, then he will be trying to go to the end, but maybe he might try to stop. Was that someone hitting the wall there? I just said.
Yeah, that was Owen Howell hitting the wall, but no wing damage, or maybe just a bit of lime green wing damage, but certainly no visual damage. So really lucky there for Owen Howell to not get damage off that wall as he gave the last corner a big whack. So very lucky that he didn't get damage off that.
Towie's went on to a set of mediums, so he probably can't get those tires to the end. You need to at least be coming in about lap 12, 11 or 12 if you want to take mediums to the end. So I reckon this will be a 2-stop. It can be quick if these people on soft are going to hard, so let's keep an eye out on his race in terms of who he's going to be fighting maybe in about 13 laps time.
Yeah, Massey closing in here on Hayes for 5th and 6th, and I'm just looking at the top two. The top two of the two Williams boys are basically identical in Sector 1, 27.1s that they are setting compared to the guy behind them of 27.4s, and they both just set 42.6s, a 42.6 and a 42.8 for Crowding and Wedgie, so 2 tenths separated in Sector 2, so that is where Wedgie is pulling this gap from, and now it's a 1.9 second gap between Wedgie and the two Williams boys.
Just when you were doing that, Darko got past Owen Howell on the straights. It was a lot more easier move. You got the move done before he even got to the DRS. So, and he's already pulled a gap of a couple of tenths already. As we see, is that a Williamson? No, it's not. It's Breezy.
That's Breezy and Hayes.
So
Breezy looking for an undercut.
2 seconds behind, I think it was. So it's going to be, if you can get a really good pit stop here, come out and clean air, and literally just push it, then I can see it. But again, 20 laps in the set of mediums, I think that's a bit of a risk at the moment. Again, these could be 2-stoppers. It's really interesting to see what these people are doing. The likes of Fintu Racing and onto the podium, they will no doubt be doing the 1-stop medium to soft. So is that a move there?
Towie on Chelsea down into turn 1. Towie gets the move down the inside. Chelsea gets very unsettled at the rear of the car as that is Hayes, the AlphaTauri teammate there, blasting out the pits and making that move also on Chelsea. So Chelsea losing both positions to AlphaTauri's there, and Massey is now fighting with Harvey further back. Harvey on the 5-lap old mediums there, so Massey making his move after he pits also. Massey on those medium compound tyres, let's see what he's able to do.
Just looking at Towie's sector at times on the mediums in his first lap out, he was so much quicker in the middle sector. I think he was 8 tenths quicker than Breezy alone. So if he can keep
Matrice and Fintu on the inside line, Matrice on the outside line. Let's see, he's going for an under and over here. He's trying to get as much grip as he possibly can. Fintu looks like he's had a better exit though, and Fintu defended that very nicely, and he stays in 6th place.
I'm just going to quickly keep an eye out on Breezy's sector times. If Breezy has so much pace on these mediums, he's just got a personal best in the 2nd sector of a 42.2. That wasn't in DRS either, so if he can keep this pace up, he might get past at least Crowding.
Wedgie pits.
Yeah, because Crowding has to stay out an extra lap. So as long as he can keep this pace up, we'll see what the gap is between Wedgie and Breezy. If the gap's about 3 seconds, then I think Breezy will have got an undercut on Crowding, but I think it will be quite tight.
Yeah, certainly so. We'll have to see what that gap is when Crowding comes into the pits. I imagine Crowding will be in this lap. Minaj, Darko Wade and Owen Howell, the only people out there to stay on the soft compound tyres from the start. So those 4 yet to pit, and only 2 drivers who started at the start of this race on the mediums, Fintu and onto the podium. These 2 haven't had wing damage, but they are certainly battling at the minute onto the podium. And Wedgie darts down the outside, is already back up into 6th place, not wasting any time there. getting back up to the top.
Well, I think Breezy has done a personal best in the final sector there in that lap, and it was a tenth quicker than what Breezy's best lap was in the final sector. So these tyres are definitely working for him. The gap is only what 2.5 seconds, sorry, to Wedgie. So if he can just keep this pace up, and let's see what Crowden's sector times are as well, because he will be in this lap. But if Crowden isn't really on it by sector times, if Breezy can do the times he was doing in the previous lap, I think he's going to get an undercut on Crowden. Just looking at this, because Crowden's really losing pace now, but he should have a bit newer tyres. And Crowden stays out, so he's maybe looking to try and do a one-stop. Maybe the soft mediums
certainly help him.
Yeah, well, and we've got Minaj in as well, so that's very interesting that Crowden has decided to stay out. Maybe he's going to try and do the one-stop going a bit hard, but I think he's going to eke this out as long as possible now. But he needs to watch out he doesn't do it too long, or the gap that he had of maybe an easy P2 if he stayed on the two-stop. Could be even worse for him if he stays out and tries to do a one-stop and loses a lot more time. So
yeah, certainly so. So just to have a quick look here on Matrice, who's really tried to get on the back of Harvey now. Currently, he is now in 13th place. He's going to make some moves here due to pit stops, but he's on fresh medium, should I say, sorry, Matrice. And he's looking to hunt down Harvey as that's Owen Howell coming up just ahead in front of him, and Massey nearly getting involved. So that was for position between these two. Owen Howell on the hard compound tyres now, Massey on fresh softs too. And these two will certainly be battling for 9th place. And we've got Hayes just behind Minaj up ahead on fresh mediums compared to fresh hards on Minaj. So the battles now of the strategies are beginning to come into play.
Well, last lap, Crowden done a 40.8 and Breezy done a 38.9. So he's so much quicker on these medium tyres at the moment. So I think now Crowden has kind of just forced himself into the one-stop and staying out as long as he can now, because once he puts a set of new mediums on, he'll probably have the same pace as Wedgie, but he just has to hope that he can at least use the second stint and just create a gap.
Oh no, that's a big send there from Harvey, and there was big contact there. The position was lost already, and I think it was Finn too who was looking to make a move there on Harvey, and Harvey just darted down the inside of Matrice, and that has cost Matrice a couple of places and maybe some damage. I did see end plates fly off. I think it was off Harvey's car. But Matrice, yes, Matrice does have left front end plate damage. Crowding comes into the pits for hard compound tyres, but Finn gains 2 places for 3 there off a bit of a dive bomb there from Harvey.
I just saw that on stream there coming back, but I'll just keep an eye out. Finn, he is on a set of hards. Is he going to come out in traffic? Oh, he's went really wide.
He comes out behind. He comes out behind Breezy.
So overall, look how much time he's lost to Wedgie. He's 6 seconds to the lead. He's lost about 5 seconds plus to Wedgie. So I don't know. I expect him to go on a set of mediums. That's a weird strategy. He should have got off those softs at least a lap earlier if he was doing the hards, because he's lost a lot of time. But if there's another safety car, well, I say another, if there is a safety car at any point now, Crowden's in a bit of a sticky situation, because everyone else in front of him will pit again, and Crowden would pit for a set of mediums. So he's gone different on the strategy. He will get to the end on these tyres, as that's without a question of a doubt. He will get to the end, but let's see what his pace is like at the end of the race, because hards in the end of the race compared to newer mediums are just night and day. So as long as he can keep maybe Towie ahead of him and just kind of keep the gap to Breezy, get into the DRS, he might still have a chance here, but it's made his life a bit difficult now.
Yeah, certainly so, as Towie is gaining on him behind on the soft compound tyre. He's on the mediums, and he's 6/10 behind him now on 3-lap-old mediums. He's really trying to hunt down Crowd. He's just got so much more grip in the corners, and he is now down to 4/10 behind Crowding, so he'll certainly be looking to make this even more difficult for Crowding, as Breezy's right on the back of onto the podium, who's yet to pit, and he needs to clear onto the podium as he's lost a bit of time to Wedgie now due to being held up.
Just keep an eye on Darko Wade. He's actually in a really good position at the moment. He will be losing a lot of time to Wedgie, but as long as he just keeps doing what he's doing, puts on a set of mediums, he can do the one stop. So he's technically ahead of the likes of Wedgie and Breezy and Towie and everyone else behind him, other than, I'd probably say, Crowden and Minaj, who can go to the end. So he's actually in a really good position as long as he can just keep out of trouble and not get any damage to that car. Oh, he's sliding it though. That's a close one there. So his tyres are really going off, but let's see how long he can stay out and then put another set
Down
of
the inside.
mediums.
Ooh, what a move that was by Breezy. Down the inside, side by side with onto the podium. Going through the second roundabout, and he's got that move done. How he's going to look for a move now on Crowding. He chose to go for the inside line, heading into the hairpin. There's not much ERS though between him. There's a lot more ERS for Crowding, but he's not deploying any of it, and Towie moves up into 5th place, and Towie had 0 ERS there, and using it all to get that overtake. The DRS just helping him out there massively.
Definitely helped him out. The only thing though Crowden has to watch out for is... Oh, he's went into the back of the ball. That was close. Sorry, I just caught back on the end of that. He almost got wing damage. He was a lot later on the brakes, but these hard tyres are just going to have no pace at the moment. And Towie's on 4 lap old mediums. They will go easily till about lap 22. He'd probably want to pit, as Dark Wade is in the pits, maybe keep an eye on what tyres he goes on. But I can say these mediums will probably go... They'll go long into the race, they won't get to the end, but you probably want to pit around lap 18 or 19 to get full effect of the softs. So Crowden needs to at least stay with them for at least another 7 laps. And if he can't catch up to these cars and pull away, then I think this is really going to affect his strategy of going onto the hards.
Yeah, as we just look further back at Matriz in centre, Matriz just making the move there on into the hairpin on centre and moving himself up into 15th place. Darker Wade coming out by the looks of it in 9th place, so he gets just ahead of Owen Howell there on those medium compound tyres. So he's come out in a very nice position. Massey just ahead with 2 seconds as Towie onto the podium, or battling onto the podium, losing places yet to pit from the start onto the podium on those medium compound tyres, and he's very close to the back of Towie. And Towie's not going to have DRS now, and this could really hurt him because Crowden and onto the podium, both behind them, will have DRS, and this could be very interesting heading into the DRS straight.
As long as Podium just stays in the DRS, doesn't do anything, as long as Towie doesn't defend into this corner, Podium's going to try and send it on him though. He can't really be fighting this. He doesn't want to be fighting that. Just because of his...
on the outside, Crowden's looking interested too, and he doesn't fight it luckily there, and maybe in the traction zone gets a bit of better exit from Crowden. So Crowden just seems to be struggling with the traction zones.
Yeah, it's just the hard tyres around here. There's literally no grip on them. It's there's very little traction coming out of some of these corners to begin with, so you're on the harder tyres, it's going to make it 10 times worse. But even the difference between a new set of mediums and an old set is a lot, so if Podium can at least try and stay with Towie, then that'll really help his race. But again, if a safety car comes out about now, it's going to really affect Podium. He needs to try and get to at least lap 17, maybe even 16 before a safety car, so I think he's got a bit of pace at the moment. He just needs to try and maybe hold off Crowden. But he's already out of the DRS zone of Towie. That's just how much new tyres make. So that's a good way of saying just how much new tyres are around here. So if you're on a set of hard tyres, as Crowden will be, and Wedgie will go into a set of softs at the end. Oh, is Breezy disconnected? Sorry, he might have just disconnected there. Just riding on board with Towie, and he's got a red X above his name.
Well, there's a yellow flag down there, and that's a Haas.
And
by the looks of it, and is that Apex? And it was Apex. I think lost it in the final corner. Maybe just a little bit of wing damage there for him. Has he? Yes, front right end plate has gone. But I'm looking further back up between Towie and Breezy. Towie's going to get a place here on Breezy because of the disconnect, but Crowded and Minaj are now hunting. Minaj has really caught up to the back of Crowding. He's on 2 lap older hards. They'll be both looking to try and do the same strategy here. So this is now a fight for the position, and Crowden is looking to try and get down the inside of onto the podium. He's going to look down the inside of onto the podium into the hairpin. He should have this move done into the braking zone, and he goes down into first, into second, and he gets that move done and moves up into 4th place. Now he can hunt down Breezy, who's now an AI car up ahead.
I've invited him back now, so hopefully shouldn't be too long, but that's one of the worst times to get a disconnect as well. Either the start of the race or halfway through, because the AI decides to use all your ERS for no reason. The tyres, for some reason, they seem to shoot them. They seem to go through them so much more than you'd expect. So like it's using ERS, it's using overtake just around that part, so he's going to come back in with hardly any ERS. And I think he had quite a bit to begin with, so yeah, hopefully he can be back in sooner rather than later. But it's going to be a bit annoying for Podium. He will see these drivers passing him, but he should come out maybe about P11, I think, when he pits, and then he'll have a new set of softs, so he should be able to fight back. So he is in the position for points at the moment, so as long as he just keeps doing what he's doing, not getting too rifled up with people passing him, he should be able to at least gain some position back later on in the race. This is just part he has to just deal with now.
Yeah, Crowden's tyres are certainly starting to hit their point now. He's now 1.3 seconds behind Tyrese after being held up a little bit. Now Minaj will need to clear onto the podium on this lap, and let's see if he is able to do so. I mean, he's got the rev glitch at this moment in time. Darko Wade and Massey, them two are fighting in 8th and 9th place. Apex comes into the pits for that wing damage. He gets a change of boots and a new wing there for him, but here comes Minaj onto the podium. DRS now enabled. We won't go on board with him because that rev glitch is absolutely horrendous as he looks down the inside of onto the podium, and I think onto the podium, is it about time he starts to come in for the pits now? What lap will we be looking for him?
I say about lap 18. I pitted.
Ooh, sorry. Darko
no,
Wade on the inside of Massey. Darko Wade down the inside. Massey looks for a switchback. The Ferrari versus McLaren now, and there we go. Darko keeps that position, moves up into 8th place.
I think in Division 1 there was the Brazilian boy, was it BRL Brislin, whatever his name was? I think he came in about lap 17, and he got to the end. I came in on lap 18, and my tyres on literally the last lap felt like they were literally just about to go. So I think about lap 18, he's got another 2 more laps in these mediums. As long as he's not like in puncture territory, he should be able to keep them going. He's not going to lose too much time here compared to the people around him. He should be able to get to lap 18 and probably maybe only lose 1 position to Hayes, but as long as he just doesn't do anything stupid and just nurses these tyres when he goes onto the softs, he will definitely pay the price and he'll gain so much more time. But it's just you feel like you should come in now, but it just won't make a difference at the end. You'll lose too much if you pit now, so you just have to really just take the time you'll lose now and you'll gain it more at the end. So he is doing a good job at P5. No one's got any penalties either so far, which I think is amazing, and no one's retired. So 16 laps into a track like this, it's fair play to them.
Yeah, definitely so. Breezy now back in that Red Bull and is now 3 tenths behind Hayes in the AlphaTauri. Hayes on 7 lap old mediums, Breezy on 8, and he's looking to get this move done quickly. He's got a lot of catching up to do now, considering all the stuff that happened during he was away from this track. Does Senna have wing damage? I'm being asked. Are you able to update us on that, please, Presto?
I will just have a look for you. Senna does not have wing damage. No, he doesn't.
No wing damage for Senna, so there you go, proven. No wing damage for him, so he's down in 17th place there, 1.5 seconds behind Harvey, but Harvey's on 4 lap old hards. So it'll be interesting to see what happens further down the back as Crowden still trying to catch up to Tauri. He can see the AlphaTauri ahead of him on those mediums, but I think he knows that both cars ahead are highly likely going to pit again, if I'm right in saying.
I would think so. I don't think the mediums can go to the end. I mean, Podium's done 15 laps on them. You maybe get 20. So, I mean, it would be a big gamble to take these tyres to the end. I think Wedgie, he's got the gap. He has to come into the pits. I say he has to. It's probably better for him and safer for him. When he comes out on a set of softs, he's going to be so much more quicker than the likes of Crowden and Minaj. It's literally a no-brainer for him to pit. He'll lose probably a bit of track position, but it's night and day with these tyres. Like, they're about 2-3 seconds a lap quicker. In the time that you'll lose in the pits, you'll gain it back within 3 laps. So Wedgie should come into the pits, I would suggest, in the next lap or 2, just so he can get the maximum out of the soft tyres, so he doesn't really have to save them. But we'll keep an eye on Podium. He is in P10.
What an exit. The Trees had a beautiful exit. He's on 4 lap old softs compared to Nash's 14 lap old mediums, and the exit he had coming around the final corner, he was already past him before the start finish line. So that was a beautiful exit, and he moves himself up into 13th on those softs.
Well, so Podium is now 10 seconds behind Owen Howell. He's gained half a second literally just in the hairpin alone. So he will be gaining a lot. If he can keep this pace up, he might be able to catch up to the likes of Breezy, who they will have to pit again. So this is where he really has to make this lap count and really put in these times now. So I think it might be a lap or 2 too early on the softs, but as long as he can maybe look after them and not take too much life out of them in the first couple of laps of this stint, then he might actually be able to make this work.
Yeah, there's a lot of options now for some of these drivers. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't even lost a driver in this race yet, as I'm just looking at Eke Belova on Nash. Eke Belova, no ERS left whatsoever, but has the DRS, is looking to try going around the outside here on those soft compound tyres. He should have better grip on the exit as he goes into 3rd and up into 4th. And now let's see how this is going to go, but Nash is using overtake, and Nash is going to stay in 14th place for now and really defending as much as he can against Eke Belova.
Unless he's been out in Darko Wade, because Hayes has got wing damage, which I didn't know where he's picked that up, if that's recent or not. But Hayes has got wing damage. on the front right end plate, so Darko Wade will be looking to get past him as he's already using his ERS, so alongside him he goes. Hayes doesn't actually fight it. He's got a lot of ERS to play with though, so maybe he just thinks it's better just to stay behind him, maybe get some ERS, use that as him down the straight. So
and that was also Nash, the first time penalty of the session. Nash picks up a 3-second time penalty, but Eke Blober's also coming in off the 5-lap hold softs. I wonder if there's any wing damage between them two, because they both came into the pits at the exact same time, but no, neither of them have wing damage, which is always good to see.
Just when I was keeping an eye on podium, that literally within a lap he has caught up 3.5 seconds to Owen Howell. That is how much quicker these softs are at the moment. For the next 2 or 3 laps, we need the AWS attacking thing, don't we? The three laps before striking distance. That's what we need. But yeah, it shouldn't be long. And these softs, even if he's not pushing it, he just gains so much out of traction zone. So if he can keep this pace up, the likes of Massey will have to pit, and if they don't, they're going to lose so much at the end of the stint. So really keep an eye out on podium. This strategy of him going long.
Podium has set the fastest first sector 1 with a 26 dead, and he's set a 42 dead in the middle sector. So he is absolutely flying right now on those soft compound tyres. So we could see a fastest lap coming in here as Massey comes into the pits. We can see a fastest lap starting to emerge here from onto the podium as he comes around the final corner now. If he's had a good end sector, he could certainly take it here, and does. 37.2 from onto the podium, so that shows how quick he was. He was a 41.8 in the last sector there, so that just shows how quick those softs actually are.
And Crowden last lap on the set of hards was a 39.6, so that shows you just how much quicker these tyres are at the moment. If he can just keep that pace up, who did I say maybe catch up to it? Maybe Hayes or Darko Wade, who might even have to pit again, who are doing 40s. Hayes, he's got wing damage, so that's probably not the best to go to. Breezy, he's doing 40s as well, so he's literally like a good 2.5 to 3 seconds a lap quicker. So if he can just keep this pace up over the next maybe 5-6 laps, the tyres will drop off eventually, but he's going to have so much grip. Even a set of used softs are quicker than a set of used hards or mediums. So if he keeps this pace up, he's a chance of maybe even getting a top 5. So yeah, great strategy call from him at the moment. Let's just hope he doesn't use too much of his tyres, since he pitted maybe a lap or 2 earlier than I would have done. So
yeah, Crowden now 4 tenths behind Towie. Really looks to hunt down Towie. I mean,
Wedgie's in.
Yeah, Wedgie is in. So Wedgie's coming to the pits. Towie comes into the pits. This should now give Crowding the lead of this race. But for how long? Because we imagine Wedgie will be going for the soft compound tyres. We imagine Crowding is going to the end. 8 laps to go on those hard compound tyres. Those hards will definitely last to the end. Wedgie comes into the pits, puts on the soft compound tyres. Let's see what the gap is when he comes out. Minaj is another one that will go to the end. So if Minaj is now ahead of Wedgie too, which he is, that's another person for Wedgie to get past. So Darko Wade is also in that too as he comes out to the pits. Does he get ahead of Owen? Yes, he does. So Wedgie comes out in 4th on fresh softs, but with 2 drivers ahead of him now until 1st place. So if he clears them quickly, he will highly likely get back up to Crowding in no time. But how much of a fight are these boys going to put up?
Well, the gap's 9 seconds. We saw how quick Podium was. He was at 2.5 seconds quicker in the hards. Wedgie might have a bit more pace as well, so if he can keep this up, it could be about 3 seconds a lap quicker. And there's 8 laps to go. He will definitely catch up. Look at how many people have pitted. Podium's 6th at this moment in time. He will get past Owen Howell. He'll probably get past Darko Wade, and he might catch up to Minaj.
He's on Darko Wade already, DRS, and he's got that move done, and it will be done way before the hairpin. So he's back up into 3rd, into the podium places, 4.2 seconds now behind Minaj, but that gap of around 8 seconds, 7 seconds between him and his teammate of Crowding.
Wedgie's brought the gap down to 7.5 seconds with a purple middle sector. So now let's just keep an eye on what this gap does in the final sector, because this is when the tyres are literally just in their own. So we get 7.2, 7.1, 7, it's just coming down rapidly now. Every time the delta is changing, it's a 10th. 6.5, 6.6. Yeah. It's incredible. That's a second already. So if he keeps his pace up,
insane.
He will have this. He will have you'll probably get past him the next 2 or 3 laps. Gus line.
Yeah.
Purple final sector as well. The gap is 6 seconds. He's gained 1.5 seconds just in the final sector alone. That's any indication of showing you just how good a new set of softs compared to hards are. Oh, he's got a 5 second
time penalty.
Oh, he's retired. Oh, boo. We don't like to see that. Boo. He was in a good position as well.
Yeah, Massey promotes to 8th place. Towie's right on the back of Owen Howell now, and Towie on fresh sauce is looking to make this move done on Owen Howell, the AlphaTauri versus the Red Bull here. He's got overtaken DRS enabled. Owen has overtaken enabled too, and has a lot more overtaken enabled to use, as they're both on the back now onto the podium. And onto the podium, getting a little bit out of shape there in the roundabout section, as Wedgie is now 1.1 seconds behind Minaj and is nearly in DRS range down the straight. So he's seriously pushing now to get back, as Towie is now going to look to get this move done on Owen, as Owen squeezing to the wall as they separate now and take a wall each. And looks like the AlphaTauri there is going to get this move done before the hairpin, and he does. And Towie moves up into 6th place. These softs really coming alive now towards the end of this race. That is a yellow flag, and that is a Red Bull.
That'll just be Red Bull coming back onto the track, so that's all good. But just looking at where podium is at the moment, Howell, he's going to have to either pit again. I don't think he will pit again. He's kind of.
Wedgie going to send it? Wedgie is. He's going to send it. Second to last corner, Wedgie. He's sent it up the inside of Minaj, and he's timed that beautifully. Moves up into 2nd place, and that is him there into 2nd. But Minaj has DRS. He's going to go round the outside here of Wedgie. He's not going to make it easy for Wedgie here. Let's see how this is going to go, and he does stay ahead, does Wedgie. Those hards just aren't good enough in the first corner to keep up with him and Wedgie, and it's back to a Williams 1-2.
Oh, Minaj almost hit the wall as well there. So Towie will no doubt get ahead of podium just with his newer tyres. But just looking at the podium, he's now 5th. Worst scenario at the moment is he will go down to 6th when Towie passes him, but he's got a gap to Massey and everyone else around him. So worst case scenario for podiums, he finished 6th. Considering he started 18th, that just shows you as long as you stay out of trouble, do a different strategy, mediums to softs, that probably will do him. If he keeps his pace up, I think Darko Wade's going to the end. He's only done 8 laps on those mediums, and he's got no ERS either, so he's going to be really struggling at the end. Yeah, maybe a bit of a gamble to catch up to Minaj, but it could be on. You never know.
Towie, no ERS, but he does have. He has the DRS though. The DRS, the letterbox is open. They go into the hairpin. He takes the inside line, and he's staying in overtake here for the exit. That could be risky, but he does keep 5th place, and Towie moves down into 6th. But Wedgie now 2.9 seconds behind Crowdin into 2.8. He's just flying 2.6 now through sector 3. That time is going to be no time into the DRS gap. It's insane how quickly he's catching up, as Apex is catching up to the back of Harvey. He has now got DRS in the slipstream now. He's going to catch on the racing point. The racing point was the inside line. Haas is going for the outside line. Let's see how this is going to go. Harvey last time in this position. It didn't end well, and Apex stays in, and that is Senna. No wing on that car, just the last little bit there. Does a U-turn in the edge of the 2nd roundabout, and that's a shame for him. And he's got big wing damage to that Ferrari.
Yeah, he's going to have to come in and get that fixed, get a new set of stuff on. No doubt it'll be lapped as well, so it's just one of those races, you know, when nothing goes your way. But he's still here. Hopefully he gets some, maybe even go for fastest lap if he can. So, but Wedgie again, look at 1.9 the gap is now. He's closing hand over fist. So he's not got too much ERS to play with though, but he shouldn't really be using it. He knows literally just in his pace that he's got in the last sector alone, he can gain on Crowdin, so he doesn't need to use his ERS. He needs to save that till he gets right behind him.
Yeah, flag in sector 3. Seconds.
Senna.
Is it? No,
Senna's
is it?
Senna's crashed. Senna has crashed in sector 3.
Could this be a safety car? Could this be a safety car?
Ghosting is on, because that looks like it's in a really awkward position.
It is on.
Just keep an eye out where it's going to be.
It's right there. It's right on the race. That should be a safety car. That has to be a safety car, Goldmasters. I'm sorry, that has to be a safety car.
Thank God ghosting is on, because a lot of people here don't know if it is or not. Some people might gain from it. Oh, wow, that was...
how that car is allowed to stay there, and Goldmasters says, yeah, it's fine. We can get through that. There's a gap. What?
just get marshals on the track, no bother. I mean, that's just... Come on. It's shocking that's not...
Any day of the week. That could even be a potential red flag. if you can't get a tractor out there, as Towie is looking to make the move here on Darko Wade for 4th place. Darko Wade defends as much as he can and defends well on the outside line. Darko Wade holding on to 4th, defending Towie on these fresh softs. So Towie really struggling here to get past Darko Wade in the McLaren, but now has overtake and DRS enabled. He's in the slipstream. He's going to look to get this move done. He's choosing for the outside line. He'll have the inside line going into the roundabout. Let's see how this happens here. Goes to the outside, doesn't get the inside line. Darko Wade late breaks him and stays ahead. And now we'll have to fight this down again. The other DRS straight down the back straight. If he gets the exit, he does get the exit that he needs. Wedgie is 2 seconds, but 2 tenths behind Crowded. He's going to look to get this move done, and he does. Moves into 1st place. And now we are back to the Williams 1-2 that we saw as Towie and Darko Wade. These two are strapping onto the podium. Looking to get involved. Podium down the inside. He's going to look to get that too. And they both get a double overtake there on Darko Wade. The mediums just not coming to life anymore. They're wearing off, and the softs are raining rampant round here in Hanoi.
Well, let's keep an eye on Minaj though, because he's only 3.5 seconds ahead of Towie. Let's look at his times as well. There's still 4 laps to go. So let me just quickly try and see if I can find these times that Minaj is doing. So Minaj is doing...
Towie is doing 39.1s, and Minaj is doing 45s on their last lap.
Yeah, 4.25, so he's a lot slower at the moment. So, and that was with a pass as well. Towie done a 36.9 in his quick lap, so I think 38.6 that lap as well. So he's gained a second and a bit, plus crowding as well, doing 41s that lap, obviously let his teammate go. This isn't over for the podium. Even P2 might be up for grabs as long as Towie and that can keep at least some part of his tyres going.
Yeah, 3 laps to go now. The gap is pretty separated, but we do have people on the quicker soft compound tyres here at the end of this race, and it's going to be very interesting to see now if there could be any more positions for the podium places right now. But let's just see what happens. As there's a 1.6 second gap to Towie and onto the podium, but the gap between Towie and Minaj of 2 seconds is closing ever so quickly, and those softs are really coming to life here in Hanoi as Crowden and his teammate Wedgie looking at 2.3 seconds, and he only just overtook him on the last lap, so that just shows how much quicker those soft compound tyres are.
Well, look at the gap. Towie's now only 1.7 behind Minaj. Next lap he should be right on him, so maybe Crichton should just be safe, but Minaj has to fight this. He's not got much ERS, neither does Towie. Podium's got 27, so he might be there if the worst comes to it, if they take each other out or a bit of wing damage. But yeah, this is going to come right down to the last couple of laps.
Yeah, definitely so. Look at that, through sector 3. He's now 1.7 seconds behind. He's literally looking at Minaj now. Is Towie 1.2? He's nearly in DRS, as we now have 2 laps to go as Hayes is caught onto the back of Fin2 Racing. She's now 6 tenths behind, 5 tenths behind, 4 tenths behind, 3 tenths behind. Look how quick she is slashing through that time right now on Fin2 Racing, and is going to look for a challenge there very shortly, as Towie is now 7 tenths behind Minaj, and he will be closing in as Hayes is certainly closing in on Fin2. Doesn't look like they're going to make a move down into turn 1, but Towie will certainly be looking to make a move now on Minaj for 3rd place, heading down the back straight.
They're both identical in ERS as well, so even if they both run overtake and run out, then it's kind of going to be even. So I think Towie should get this move done easily before the braking zone. But the question is, can Podium catch up? It's 2.5 seconds to Minaj. As long as Towie gets past here and Minaj doesn't fight it too much, yeah, I don't think he really is now. He's pulling back in, he's doing the smart thing and not fighting it too much. He can't lose any more time than he needs because he knows he's got a soft runner behind him. But that's 2.5 seconds now, so maybe as long as Minaj is staying in the DRS, he will be able to keep 4th place. We've got Legends in the chat saying driver of the day performance from Podium. From 18th on the grid to 5th, yeah, I'd definitely say so.
Yeah, Fin2 Racing getting overtaken there by Hayes. Minaj, it's 2.6 seconds, as you say, to onto the podium. Podium could look at 4th place here if Minaj's tyres do wear off, but onto the podiums must be getting very close with his tyre wear as he locks up a little bit going into the second to last corner. 2 laps to go here. Wedgie with a comfortable lead of 3.3 seconds over Crowning. Towie behind also by 4.6 seconds. So the top 3 is looking certain to be as it stands.
Yeah, if it keeps going the way it is, I don't see Crowden getting overtaken by Towie. The gap's just too big with 2 laps to go. But we've seen many weird things in this, you know. Crowden's tyres will just kind of keep the same pace with those hards as Towie's will start to drop off, but Towie's done a great performance in terms of coming in quite early, putting on a set of mediums, and I think he got an undercut on quite a few drivers as well. He was kind of in a mid-train, so he done really well early on. I think he was the first driver to pit as well on a set of mediums, so he's really made his strategy work, and he's almost up there in P2, so he's definitely up for driver of the day as well. But as it stands, I'd probably give it to podium just because of how clean he was at the start, didn't push it too much, and he's been able to make up 13 positions, and there's only been 2 DNFs as well, so it's not like he's gained all them with people crashing out.
Yeah, ERN Massey in 8th place. He's closing on Owen Howell. He's on those 8-lap-old softs compared to Owen Howell's 17-lap-old hards. And Massey's closing this gap, so we could see a last lap overtake here from Massey as he slams onto the brakes there. But just looking further back, Matrice is right on the back of Eke Baloba, and he's now 1/10. He's looking to go around the outside here of Eke Baloba, and he does get that move done on those 6-lap-old softs and moves himself up into 14th place, does Matrice, and he gains a place. But Eke looking back down the inside, but just wasn't able to get that move done or stick his nose there, which I think was the smart thing to do there from them two.
Joe Massey's now right behind Owen Howell on a last lap move. They both got just enough ERS, got 33% each, so they can defend each other if they need to.
Ooh,
Massey's tyres will be going off at the moment though.
Eke's looking to get back down the inside. He goes a bit deep. Matrice under and overs him, and Matrice under and overs him beautifully. Eke maybe just getting a little bit impatient there. Goes a little bit deep, and that would have lost him a little bit of time there, unfortunately.
Well, let's keep an eye on Massey now. He's only half a second behind that. Owen Howell. And he's almost to the rear. That's going to affect him as long as he can just keep this move down through the roundabout. He's right not using his overtake, but and neither is Owen Howell.
Both identical. They're identical on ERS.
And not using it either.
Nearly going into the back of him there, Massey.
Which is very, very good. I'll keep an eye on Wedgie. He will be bringing this car home. But let's keep an eye out at least on Owen Howell and Massey down the straight. If nothing happens, then we'll switch back to Wedgie.
Yeah, this has to be make or break now for Massey. 7th place right ahead of him. He's using all of his overtake. He will now have DRS. He's got to close as quickly as he possibly can, but I don't think he's going to close in time.
Too far
and
back.
I think his opportunity has been squandered by his little slide. And if he gets an exit here, he might have a chance, but I think that is definitely it for Massey as we just look forward now to Wedgie. He is approaching the last corner now. Williams once again turn up in Division 3. Wedgie on the top step of the podium here in Hanoi, followed by his teammate of ERN Crowding. It's a Williams 1-2, and Towie with a fantastic performance in the AlphaTauri claims 3rd place. Minaj comes home to take 4th, onto the podium with a fantastic drive, takes 5th place. Darko Wade comes home to take 6th.
He might lose position because he's disconnected. His time changed, but he will still get 6th. He did cross the line with no pen, so he will be 6th. Keep an eye on that.
So that will make Owen Howell and Massey in 7th and 8th. Hayes comes home to take 9th, and the last person in the top 10 of Fin 2 Racing will take 10th place. The rest have penalties. Will any penalty effective happen here? Apex and Harvey both have penalties. Will they make or jump or fall down any places? No, they won't. 5-second time penalty for an unserved penalty for Harvey. So 11th and 12th there. Nash comes around the final corner.
Oh, Nash. Oh, 3/10. So
by 3/10.
Matrix might actually gain a wee bit, just considering he's got no penalties at all. I think he might jump up. He doesn't. Too far back. We've got Eke Baloba doing donuts
on the second to last corner. I think he went wide and hit the wall and just ended up doing a few donuts there. I imagine those tyres are very, very hot. Let's have a quick look. What are his? Oh, his tyres are 137 degrees. No wonder he can't put those tyres down. 130 degrees right now. Those tyres are. So that is certainly why he just can't keep it in a straight line right now. Eke Baloba, but he comes home to take the last available stop, and he takes 16th place. But what a race we had here today for Division 3. A good, great race for the Williams boys. It's a 1-2 for Harvey and Crowding, and Towie getting a fantastic drive there in 3rd place. The game gives onto the podium driver of the day, and I think me and you also, Presto, can agree that onto the podium certainly deserves driver of the day after that drive he did today.
Yeah, I'd give it to podium there, considering he started all the way back in 18th on the grid. Made the one stop work for him as well. So did Lights and Minaj, but considering Minaj was off 4th and he only ended up a second and a half behind him, he really made the chassis work for him today. Maybe if he had a wee bit more pace earlier, he might have even got up to 4th, but you know, that's if buts and maybes. But I'd definitely give it to podium for drive of the day, considering where he started and how he was able to keep it clean throughout the race. So yeah, I would give him the drive of the day.
Yeah, an absolutely fantastic race here from Division 3 onto the podium is definitely our drive of the day. Our top 3 positions were Reggie, Crowding and Towie. It is as follows: inside the top 10 of Minaj, onto the podium Owen Howell, Massey, Darko Wade, Hayes and Fin2 Racing. Outside of the top 10 is as follows: Apex, Harvey, Nash, Matrice, Chelsea, Eke Belova and the 2 DNFs of Senna and Breezy there in 17th and 18th. A fantastic race here for Division 3 here on the streets of Hanoi. Do you think we should do an interview, Presto?
Yeah, why not? Let's bring them in if they want to speak.
I will let you pick the first. I'll let you pick the interviewee as it's your first time here. I'll let you pick.
Should we bring the drive of the day in? Should we bring the drive of the day in?
Let's bring him in. As we just get him into here, we would like to speak to podium because where did he start again? Was it 16th place?
It was 18th place.
18th. So he was the back of the grid because we only had 18 drivers today, and he was right at the back of the grid. So he's had a phenomenal drive, going from 18th to 5th place, I believe it was. So let's try and get onto the podium see if he could chat for a little interview.
See if he wants to speak. Which actually won't want to come and speak to me now, that's what it'll be. Too happy.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not going in. Presto's on commentary. No, am I hell going to the com box?
that usually. Oh no, he's in. Look at that.
He is here onto the podium. Please include your audio, good sir. Perfect, thank you very much. What a race you had today. 18th on the grid, up into 5th, I believe. 5th or 6th. A fantastic race for yourself there. Give us your thoughts at the minute.
I hate Hanoi. I never want to drive here ever again.
So yeah, what happened in qualifying? That's my question. Why were you so far back? Why were you so bad?
First lap, I crashed into a wall before the lap had even started. So
great start.
And then I only did only had one good lap. So.
And it wasn't really that good to begin with, though, was it?
No, it wasn't.
No, so it was just a lap you done. But
yeah, it was just a lap.
What was the race like for you in terms of actually just keeping it clean through the traffic in the first couple of laps? Because it seemed quite chaotic through there.
Yes. Trying to remember. The mediums felt awful. There was no grip on the mediums, so it was just trying to keep it out of the wall. There was many hair-raising moment of nearly binning it. I did have a little bit of contact with Chelsea though, so I apologise for that. But other than that, it was pretty clean. As I got to the end of the mediums, it was just a case of just getting out of the way of the guys that had pitted and were quicker. Just don't want to have any accidents with them. And then when I put the softs on, it was a completely different car. It was actually speed. And then I caught a couple of cars, overtook them, and then once again the tyres sort of went off, and Towie was quicker than me, so I thought there's no point battling people that are quicker and just find out where I came.
Yeah, it's really weird with the shaft you're into. If you go medium soft, like the mediums are horrendous, but you know that you'll gain all that time at the end of the stint, and it's incredible just how much the softs are. So it was a good strategy, and you were able to hold that out. And even like you said yourself, you were just kind of letting people go. A few other people in that situation might start fighting it and start maybe affecting their racing more. But considering that you started 18th, I think you only finished about 11, 12 seconds off the lead, and only about, I think it was about 3 seconds off that podium. So if you were a wee bit higher up at the start, who knows where it could have been.
Yeah, I just annoyed that I didn't qualify her.
Well, on to next week then anyway. How do you think China's going to go?
I like China a lot more than Hanoi, so if I can actually qualify high, maybe I'll have a good race.
And just before the race, you said to me that you didn't really know your braking zones. What are you going to do for next week to improve that? What are you going to be watching?
I know China's braking zones already.
Well, what are you going to watch as well, just to make it a wee bit easier and pick up some more hints?
Presto's hot lap tutorial on Fridays.
There,
or
I didn't even need to
Thursdays.
say it this. I didn't even need to say it this week. But tune into Presto's hot track guides, and you will find some more information that Podium didn't have going into the start of qualifying. If he had that, he'd have been P1. So just bear that in mind. We've got a placement there, but you know you've got to do what you got to do. You know.
Ah, Presto. God damn it. But yeah, on to Podium, thank you very, very much for coming in. You
No
were mine and Presto's driver today. A fantastic
very
drive
much.
there, especially around the streets of Hanoi. But yeah, look forward to see what you do next week in China. Thank you for coming in, buddy.
Cheers.
But yeah, that will wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, for European Race Night Division 3, we'll be back tomorrow for Division 4 here in Hanoi. And let me just say, I'm not looking forward to that tomorrow. But we'll be back next week in China for 1, 2, 3 and 4. All 4 divisions in China next week from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So make sure you tune into that. We'll all be here next week also. I've been Dame Zero, your lead commentator, alongside me, Mr. Presto Evans. We hope you have enjoyed Division 3 and we will catch you all next time. See you all later.